Gary, when we last spoke, obviously it was off the back of the last final pre-season game. How has this week's training gone in terms of trying to put things right and lift the morale?
They've gone well as far as that's concerned, I think. We've had, obviously the last week, you put in a few more sharp sessions. You know, the long runs are done. I think we played a couple of teams in the space of a short space of time in Bristol City and Peterborough that were quite lively. We've got to try and produce the first half performances in both games for 90 minutes because in both games we didn't finish very well and the opposition finished better than us. So we've done a lot of, we had a meeting and everybody felt that it was just a sharpness and you know, we did a lot of sharpness anyway, a lot of sharp football, and I think they're all looking forward to it now and looking forward to the first game of the season.
And have you noticed a difference in the mood because this week's game is competitive and there are 3 points at stake?
Yeah, I mean you notice the change in the mood when you bring them in on the Sunday and you try and put right what happened on the Saturday, and although they don't like coming in on the Sunday, you can at least sort things out before the Monday, and then Monday's a new day, and that's when everybody's come in. You know, I've told them my gripes, they've told me theirs, and we can discuss it, sort it out on the Sunday, and then it's all forgotten and ready to go. And I think they're all looking forward to the Morecambe game, and obviously the Oxford game as well, because that's one to look forward to. So it's they're all still fighting for places in the first 11, even though we haven't yet got the full squad that I would like.
Injuries and illness, how are Kevin Dawson, Danny Wright and Jarrell Sellers?
Jarrell's fine, Danny Wright's fine, Grimesy had a bit of the sniffles a couple of days ago, but he's fine now. Dawes would just leave to the last minute because he's getting there and he's very, very nearly there. So obviously I'll have a chat with the medical department today, tomorrow, and we'll decide whether he's involved or not.
And as you said, your squad building's still got a little way to go. Any possible movement in before Saturday?
I don't think so, but you never know. It's only Thursday, so this stage of the season, anything can happen, and it generally does.
Not even mentioned Morecambe yet. How difficult is it for the first game of the season to do your homework on how a team's going to line up and who's going to be where?
Well, it's not difficult as such, but it's one where you want to be right by everyone, you want to be fair to everyone. You've got a vision in your head as a manager and my staff as to how we want to play and who best fits what role. People have got to be happy in that role. Some people are construed of that they could be slightly out of position, but the players don't feel that. And I can tell by certainly their first half performances in both our last two games that they're happy with their lot at the moment, and hopefully we can put it together. It's a new group and we can put it together very quickly.
In terms of doing the homework on the opposition and how they might line up, how difficult is that? Because obviously, first game of the season, you've got not a lot to go on.
No, but we got our scouts, and I'm sure Morecambe have got their scouts, and they would have seen the best and the worst of us, and we've probably seen the best and worst of them as well. So from pre-season, we got enough information. We're good at that. We'll put the information out to the boys, and we know that they've got strengths and weaknesses, and they'll know that, or they'll think that we have as well. So we've had enough information on them to not make that an excuse that we didn't know how they were going to play or who they might play.
How important is a good start to the season? Of just sort of, if you can get a win, does that just sort of change everything, and almost what's happened in pre-season becomes forgotten in some ways?
Well, it's forgotten now. We finished pre-season now. We're into the league, and it's very important to answer the question that you get a good start. A good start, you have to look back over 10, the first 10 games. If you lose the first game, it's a bad start, but it's not a disaster because you look at it over periods of 10 games. But of course, if you win that first game, then you're in credit always for the next one, then the next one, etc., etc. So we had a slow start last year and finished okay in the second half of the season. We picked up more points in the second half of the season when we made the changes. So hopefully we can hit the ground running, and every team at this moment in time, every team's manager will be thinking that they've got to get a result in this first game because confidence, all that sort of thing. But half of them won't.